What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I got some new news for you. Well, basically, an update about some news that I reported earlier about Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders he did test positive for a stimulant called oxylofrin. Oxylofrin is a stimulant that it increases your endurance over a period of time. However, it can be found in nasal sprays, which Billy Joe does have prescription of. I guess he has sinuses or allergies, and he does take that particular medication, out of training. But he did test positive for it, but it wasn't. It I guess that was their way of. I guess explaining it. It's he can't have it in his system while training. So I'm not sure on how it was cleared, but I guess because I guess it was done so quickly. The explanation came so quickly to the point it didn't really lead to other speculation. Like, okay, well, hey, he was on this and he was on that. But I will say this though, this by itself, because you have another fighter that gets tested positive for a banned substance. Okay, um, it's karma on Billy Joe Saunders because I remember when Canelo Alvarez tested positive for clenbuterol, he had everything in the world to say about Canelo Alvarez. Now the tides have just it shifted, obviously. So he's going to get that bad stigma, like Canelo Alvarez. It's just going to be a better outcome because he is cleared to fight. That is the good thing. Because I was wondering, like, okay, you got a guy like Andrade that hasn't been fighting, and he's looking for his big shot at the WBO, 160-pound champion, because, he was the 154-pound WBO champion, once before. But this happens, it's like, okay, now what? You know what I mean? Now boxing takes first HBO closes down. Then Billy Joe Saunders gets fined for some kind of sexual conduct, whatever kind of garbage. And then this happens with him. So I'm like, okay, this is weird. Anyway, the fight is still on. October 20th in Boston, Massachusetts. These guys will still fight. Thank God. Because I'm glad this was rectified before it really just got nasty. Before, people start, pointing fingers and, blaming Billy Joe or whatever. But, it seems to me it's like this. People can misconstrue this and really easily look at this as an excuse, an alibi, a convenient alibi. Like, what are the odds of now, mind you, like 2 fights ago, Billy Joe looked like hot garbage. Let's face it. I mean, I know he'd been out of the ring a while or whatever, but he looked terrible. Now, not saying that he couldn't get in the gym and dedicate himself and really focus and look good for the next fight. And then the next fight after that. And the next fight after that was David Lemieux back in December of last year. Not saying he couldn't do that. But what I am saying is, it's really convenient, though. If someone was going to criticize or speculate, it's easy to speculate the idea, and entertain the idea that this guy that came 2 fights ago looked sluggish, sloppy, looked like he was really past his prime, fighting a guy, getting back into shape. Then all of a sudden looking great, his last performance against David Lemieux, and a guy that faded. Billy Joe, his fight with Chris Eubank Jr., I remember that fight. And, Chris Eubank, really, he came on strong in the later half because Billy Joe faded. And he did the same thing against that contender. I forget who he fought, but he was a journeyman or whatnot. But he looked bad, and it was due to him fading, okay? So if Canelo Alvarez, the same guy that you bashed, supposedly had problems fading, then they get popped or test positive, boom, for a banned substance that helps you with endurance and stamina and stuff like that. You know, it's just hard to believe that, or it's just funny as hell to see you doing the same thing, having the same problems that another fighter that tests positive did. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy to entertain. I'm just gonna throw that out there with you guys. I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna give me your insight on that. But that is something that was funny and was ironic about the whole thing. And but I'm glad the fight is still happening, man. Because when I read it, I was like, dude, are you for real? You know what I mean? So, but it's still happening, I really don't understand the outcome per se. Like, how was it explained that quickly? You know what I mean? I guess they had a prescription for it or whatever. You gotta look. You can look at it like this. Remember Ortiz? Not the first time he got popped, but the second time he showed up for a banned substance. That banned substance, the medication it came from high blood pressure medication. So that explained it. That's why he was able to fight Deontay Wilder, not when he's supposed to fight him, but the fight after that in March, because he's supposed to fight Deontay Wilder in late last year. So it was good for Deontay really to have that time frame, or whatever. But no, the fight's still on. So this comes from all the fighters that bash other fighters for testing positive for banned substances or whatever substances. Just to really be careful, because that possible unfortunate event can happen to you. Same thing can happen to you. So, that should be a lesson for people that, really blast that other fighter for doing that. When in fact, you're the person that is that is accused or test positive yourself. So anyway, you guys tell me what you think about it, but the fight is on. The update has been updated. You guys please subscribe, and you guys been counterpunched. Peace.